Welcome back, Zach.
Hey man, how's it going? Good to be here.
Not too bad, not too bad. So, there's a couple things we want to talk about today. Um, Number one is I wanted to get you know, your view on the course of the election and everything like that, but definitely GameStop. Of course, it's kind of settled down now. GameStop was selling around like four something at one point in time.
Yeah, I think for just a few minutes it might have hit 500.
So, what's your view on that? Is that what like Robinhood and everything did? Do you agree with that, or is that something that should not have happened with that?
Well, it's hard to say because when it first happened, they had two or three different stories. And usually if you make multiple stories for why you did something, you're not telling the truth about something, right?
Yeah.
But also you had, who was it? Ted Cruz and AOC were both on the same side of uh, anything. If you have AOC and Ted Cruz on the same side against something, you probably know something went wrong.
Yeah, I did see that, and I thought that was kind of odd because usually I've never, since she's least been around, I've never seen them to agree on anything.
Oh, I've never seen any Republican whatsoever agree with AOC.
Exactly,
And
especially
then you have Ted Cruz, who's a pretty conservative and was right there with Trump on a lot of issues. So it seems a little fishy that they say they had to raise their capital and they didn't have enough money to do it, but they're also going to have a Super Bowl ad later today.
who Robin Hood is.
Yeah, there's going to be a Robin Hood Super Bowl ad, but they didn't have the money to let their users buy GameStop.
Wow. See, I never used Robin Hood. I used at one point in time. I used TD Ameritrade and everything like that. Now, do you see that with Reddit and everything? Do you see them picking another stock out? Maybe not next
Uh,
or anything, but
yeah, because I was really interested in this whole saga, if you want to call it. So I actually got on the Wall Street Bet subreddit and would read through, see what people were saying and everything. And it seems like most people on there are leaving Robinhood. Um, there is a lot of talk about a trading app called Webull. It's fairly newer, I think.
mhm.
Um, Fidelity was a big one that people were going to. And I've looked into a couple of them. And from what I've seen is Robinhood is good for people that don't know much about stocks, that are just getting into trading. They
Yeah,
want to learn a little bit. And then the other apps, they kind of take away the prettiness from it, the easiness. Like it's more numbers. You don't get as many of the graphs that Robinhood has that makes you, oh yeah, this line goes up, I'm making money. The line's going down, I'm losing money. You don't have as much uh I want to say like it's not as easily for someone that doesn't really know what they're doing.
okay. I see what you're going at there, and I would agree with that. I mean, it really just takes the fact that it allows normal people like me and you, or your neighbor, who doesn't have financial experience, or whoever doesn't want to go to a broker, to have to pay that. You
Yeah,
still have fees, of course. You still have a fee once. I do know once you unbuy the stock, especially TD Ameritrade, you have to pay like some type of service fee of some sort. I
yeah.
do know that. But outside of paying a broker, however that happens, I've never had to do that in my life. So I don't know the exact, workarounds or anything like that. But I do know that there is some type of fee once you do take the stock out in TD Ameritrade. But what I think is with the whole Robinhood, I thought that was messed up. I thought that, catered to Wall Street in a way.
Oh, for sure. Because if you look at it, the morning that Robinhood halted trading was the day that GameStop hit 450, 500, whatever it was at. And then every day since then, the stock dropped. So they definitely put a halt on it. And like, as much as I don't like Robinhood for that, there's still going to be a little bit in me that still likes them because that's where I got started trading. And since I started with them, it has made me a lot of money. But who's to say I wouldn't have made just as much with any other app if I would have used it instead of Robinhood?
What all, if you don't mind, what all stocks do you have, give or take? Just a couple.
Uh,
What's your three best ones?
my three best ones are Tesla. Been doing really good with that. I love everything Elon does. He's probably the smartest man alive, so I'm not going to bet against him.
Yeah.
Another one is called Plug Power. They make hydrogen cell batteries, and they have contracts with Amazon, Walmart, and Home Depot. Pretty much any forklifts for those three companies run off these hydrogen cell batteries. And they just had a huge January. They got a South Korean company invested $1.5 billion into them. And then they're talking about this French company going in a joint partnership with. So I'm looking for big things from them in the coming future. And another one I just recently got on. It's called Workhorse. It's an electric vehicle company, but with Biden saying he's going to switch all government vehicles to electric over this term, Workhorse is the only American company that has a bid on that contract. And Biden also said he wants to support America and go with American companies. So it's looking like they're going to get it.
That's good though. That uh, with Biden, I think that's ultimately good. I think that's good to eventually go electric. I mean, I think that's the way everything's going.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah. If you just look at all the other companies, pretty much Tesla might have started it, but pretty much every car company is working on electric vehicles now.
I think what was it? I think it was GM. Was it GM? Was it Ford? It was GM. Yeah, they said they were going to have all their vehicles. I'm going to have to look that up. But one of those two said they were going to have all their vehicle fleets electric by like 2036 or something like that. I want to place my money on GM. I think it was.
Yeah. I, I I know a lot of companies have been transitioning. I'm not sure exactly which company said that though. It says right here, Volvo cars to be all electric by 2030.
Okay. So Volvo, let me see. General. Ford makes $29 million commitment to electric driving and self-driving cars as well.
Yeah. I would say just about every car company will be transitioning to electric in the not too distant future.
Yeah, according to CNBC, General Motors plans to exclusively offer electric vehicles by 2035.
Okay.
So now to the self-driving vehicles, I know with Tesla they have these. Would you trust that? Like if you're driving with kids in the car, everything, would you try it, or would it be just something that you would just do like on a by yourself?
Um, I would not do it with the first model. I would wait a few years, let them get any kinks out. At with any like new technology, you have to you can't be the first one because the first model's never
Yeah,
perfect.
no.
And I know Tesla's been really big into getting self-driving cars. There's been a lot of rumors lately that Apple's working on self-driving cars.
Wow.
So, uh, we'll see who the first one to get there is, but I would still wait a little while. Like, you don't want to be the guinea pig for something like that.
No, now if I was me, if I had one and my vehicle could self-drive, I would not try it on the turnpike, like the West Virginia Turnpike. But if I'm in the middle of Kansas, sure, give me a straight.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe give me a couple little turns. That way, I can still have reaction time.
Yeah.
On seven.
Maybe if we're driving to Morgantown, it's a little curvy, but it's fairly straight for the most part.
Yeah, you got time to react. If it doesn't start turning, then okay, time to take over this. I think that'd be pretty interesting. I would, like I said, I think the last time we talked, I would love to buy Tesla. That's like one of my top 3 cars that I would ever buy.
Oh yeah. I've been telling my girlfriend for at least 2, 3 years now. As soon as Tesla makes us rich, a Tesla's the first thing I'm buying.
So when you told me last time, when did you originally buy that stock?
Well, I had it pre-pandemic, but then I sold everything out because I kind of saw what was coming. I thought the virus was going to get a lot worse. And then we went into the lockdown and pretty much the whole stock market plummeted. And I got back in and I've been holding since the end of March, probably.
So when did you get out? When did you get back in? What was the price? Do you remember, give or take?
Give me 1 second. I can check. My average price on the shares of Tesla I have right now is 547 a share, and it's at 850 right
Okay.
now.
That's
When it hit the pandemic, it was about 180 pre-pandemic, and then the pandemic dropped it down to 72. So about a little over $100 it took off. But that was also pre-split when they did the 5-to-1 split. So it was actually a $500 drop in the price.
that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay.
Yeah. So
When do you ever plan on selling?
if I needed money really bad.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think Tesla will be the most valuable company in the world one day. And I don't want to. It's done so well for me now when all the analysts have always been saying it's a bubble, it's going to drop, it can't keep this up. And then it just got higher and higher. So I'm going to hold on to it until I absolutely can't.
Do you have it's a really good stock. I don't see it ever going down unless there's something like last March that happens or anything like that. I think for the foreseeable future, it's going to continuously go up. Now, speaking of Tesla, what do you think about them moving from California to Texas? I know there's a bunch of companies right now. I think Hewlett Packard's another one, a couple other ones. They're moving from California to Texas.
Yeah, and it's not even just companies, it's people too.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people leaving California, and I don't know, it kind of makes sense. Like, it costs so much to live there. I'm sure it costs so much to do business there. And there's just more space in Texas. Like, everything in California where there's so many people, it's just crowded.
Yeah.
And
Taxes, I think the tax part and what a lot of people are saying, like Joe Rogan's and all them, there's more freedom in Texas than their say is in California. especially with the whole COVID stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's where really I think I even read something last night where Gavin Newsom is actually they're trying to sign something to get a recall vote in California. Now the chances of him actually getting recalled is very slim, especially because the Republican Party is non-existent really in California. So to get somebody recalled, no, I don't see that happening. But that just goes to show you, the way that California is kind of thinking, like people wise. But so, what is your feelings though? Speaking of that, uh, with the 2020 election, I know everything's kind of settled down now. You know, you had Joe Biden winning, which me personally, I think it's a breath of fresh air. My opinion of it.
Oh yeah. I mean, even listening to him talk, he just seems more calm. Like it's whether you believe what he's saying or not, he
Yeah,
has been calling for unity. He wants to work together. There have been things that he says, even though Democrats hold the House and the Senate, he wants to work together on bills. He wants bills to pass not just with Democratic support, but with Republican and Democratic support.
yeah,
So I don't think he wants to just take over and do everything that the Democrats want. He wants to try and unite America. He's trying to get away from the us versus them mentality to a we mentality. At
yeah,
least that's how I've taken it. And I don't know if it'll be successful or if he's even really sincere about that. But I mean, optimistically, I'm hoping.
yeah. I agree with you. I think that, and don't get me wrong, I think there is, you know, I didn't vote for him. I didn't vote for either Trump or Biden, but I think that there was a couple good things that Trump did do, like mostly foreign policy wise, taxes and everything like that. But I think the thing that I, welcome Biden with, how you say it is with unity. He actually sounds. It's just like it just sounds presidential. You know, he wants to bring people together. I think Trump had opportunities to do that, but failed. Most notably, you had the Charlottesville thing in 2017. At COVID, I mean, honestly, this is my honest opinion right here. If it wasn't for, it seemed like once he got the impeachment trial was done there
Hmm.
in January of last year, everything just went downhill for this guy. I mean, if
Oh,
if
for
if
sure.
you if the election would have been in November of 2019, Trump wins. That's
I,
my
I would I would say even if COVID didn't happen, he
yeah
probably still would have won.
yeah. If COVID, that's what I'm saying. Everything post 20 January 2020, he wins in a landslide. I think not maybe not a landslide, but it's a very good win. I'm
Hmm.
not saying a Reagan landslide or anything like that, but I just don't think he handled it correctly. I think he could have done things differently. I think he could have done things, stay off Twitter. You know, there's a lot of factors to it, but I think he had his chances to bring everyone together and had a great opportunity for it. He just didn't do it. But I think
Oh,
Joe
for
Biden,
sure.
it's just it's a breath of fresh air with him, and I'm rooting for him, even though I didn't vote for him. But I want everyone to do good. You know, I didn't like everything Obama did. I didn't like everything Bush did. I didn't like everything that Trump did. But
Uh,
you want him to succeed. Succeed.
yeah, because I mean, if the president is succeeding, the country's succeeding.
Exactly. I mean, that's the thing. But we'll see. There's not going to be everything, but
Uh, I mean, we're less than a month in. We still got basically 4 years to go.
yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. But what do you see him running again? I don't see him running again, but I think he's just a 4 term and he's out. I mean, I just
Uh,
don't.
if he's still alive, I think he will try to run again. Uh, Depending on what happens over the next few years, I've heard a lot of people saying that Biden was just the face that was running, and it's going to be Kamala that takes over. So, I mean, if he doesn't run in 2024, I could see Kamala probably being the person that steps up and runs for the Democrats.
Yeah, I mean, she's ultimately. I think right now, she's the front runner regardless. That's if Biden does not run in 2024, she's automatically the front runner.
Oh,
I mean,
for sure.
now the Republican side, that side right now, I don't know what's going to go on.
No, it's going to be some senator that steps up and challenges Biden over the next 3-4 years.
I mean, the problem is with that. I mean, I think the Republican Party right now, and they always say this. After each time, say in 2016, they said the same thing about Democrats. The party's falling apart, blah, blah, blah. The same thing with Republicans. With Republicans right now, they got a faction within their group that, the whole conspiracy things is crazy. But we'll see when it comes to all that. Now, I want to get your another opinion, sports-wise. We'll turn the topic over. Super Bowl tonight. Before we start, who do you have winning and why?
I think right now I'm going to have to go with the Chiefs. I mean, their offense is just unstoppable. When that team's clicking, there's nothing you can do to stop their offense. But it really would not surprise me at all if Tom Brady pulls it out again. I mean,
Yeah.
he's 6-3 in Super Bowls, and Eli Manning's not playing, so you can't ever count out Tom Brady once they make it this far.
I mean, his only two losses, Eli Manning twice and Nick Foles.
Yeah.
There's only two quarterbacks that have ever beaten Tom Brady. Now, Matt Ryan should have won. I'm not going to get into that. That hurts me too much still. So we're not going to get into that. But I'm going Tampa Bay tonight. I can't go against Tom Brady. Last time I did that, I lost. So, I mean, the line right now is Kansas City -3.
Yeah, and
Oh,
that
man.
makes sense to me.
Yeah.
It's going to be a close game. Tom Brady's not going to get blown out, and it would take something catastrophic for either team for this to not be close.
Man, I just cannot believe though. Tom Brady's 42 years old.
42 or 43.
40. I mean, at least 42. And this dude is still playing like he's 32 or even 25. I mean, there is some things that he can't do that he used to be able to do, but still.
Yeah, and there's been a few games this season where he had like 3, maybe 4 interceptions. But I mean, all that doesn't matter. He got to the playoffs, did what he had to do, and he's one game away from another ring.
I mean, his stat line basically 4,600 yards passing, 40 touchdowns, 12 picks. Mahomes had 38 touchdowns, 6 picks. So I'm going Tampa Bay. I'm thinking 31-27.
Okay.
31-27. That's my pick as of right now. But I think Tampa Bay's both teams have a lot of firepower. You got, Mike Evans, Travis Kelce, of course you got, I don't think Antonio Brown's playing.
I mean, it really wouldn't surprise me if you saw this game in the 40s.
Oh,
Like,
no.
It's two really good offensive teams.
Oh yeah, I would honestly, I would love to see a shootout. I really do. Now will we see that? Maybe, hopefully. I want to see maybe like an Eagles Patriots game. That was,
Yeah.
but I'm really looking forward to this game. It's a good matchup. Pat Mahomes, who I think is going to be one of the best one day. Would he be like Brady? Probably not, but I think he'll be a really good player.
Oh, for sure.
So, but do you have any plans for Super Bowl, or you plan on staying in?
Well, I think I'm just going to my parents for the first half because I have my baby and my cousin's having a Super Bowl party. I think when my daughter goes to sleep, we might go over to my cousin's house at halftime, watch the second half with him.
Okay. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be weird though watching the game due to the whole COVID stuff. You know, the fans like I think it's supposed to be like 25,000 or I don't know how many people, but it's gonna be weird.
Yeah, actually, I noticed that I was watching a basketball game last night, the Oklahoma State Texas basketball game,
Yeah.
and I guess they're allowed to have like 3,000 fans at the game.
Mm-hmm.
And there at the end, it was close, and you could actually hear the crowd chanting and cheering. And I realized how much I missed that.
Yeah.
Like it, all the games have almost felt silent. All you hear is a
We can.
player here or there yelling something or shoes squeaking on the court. But this just felt like a more intense atmosphere. You had people screaming and chanting for their team, trying to pull out a victory. And like as much as I thought I liked it without all the noise, like in the NBA bubble, it was
Mm-hmm.
kind of cool to hear the players and hear them talking and stuff. It doesn't compare to hearing the fans chant.
Yeah. That's. I mean, with college football especially. College football, I think, was the one sport without its fans. It just wasn't the same. The pageantry is what makes college football. Um, and I was rewatching some old games the other day and just like seeing fans and how you were talking about. I think it was a few weeks ago. There was a UFC fight, and they actually let some people in there. You can actually hear the crowd.
Yeah.
And that's something you haven't heard in 10+ months or whatever, how long it's been. And that was really awesome, to be able to hear that. And it lets you know that, hey, things are eventually going to get back to normal. Now, when that will be, I have my, thoughts on that. I don't know what you think about it. When everything, if you had to pick a date, fall time, like, do you see college football this coming fall? Do you see that being full speed, or do you see it kind of starting 75% and going up?
Yeah, I definitely don't think it'll be 100% capacity at the beginning of the season, but maybe by the end of the season, if we can finally get COVID taken care of. I mean, Biden has a pretty aggressive agenda to tackle COVID, and they're trying to pass his, what is it, like 1.6 or 1.9
1.6.
trillion dollar stimulus. Yeah,
Yeah.
1.6, and it has a lot of things in it that are supposed to help. Like he said, 100 million vaccines in 100 days. So, I mean, if you get 100 million people vaccinated, that's gonna slow the spread down.
Yeah. I mean, I really do think my thoughts on it is, I like his plan. You know, I think probably by the end of summer, I'm hoping at least that we'll have some type of normalcy come back. Maybe not all at once. With football, my thoughts are like the schools down south, like the states like Florida, anywhere farther south, they're going to have full capacity, I think, by football season. I really do think that. Now, some northern states, or like say, some states like California, way, I think they'll start at like 50% capacity and work their way up from there. It really depends on the state per se. But I think by the end of college football, start of NBA, NHL, come Halloween time, everything should be full speed by then, or at least getting a 90 to 95% speed. But we'll see. But it all relies on the vaccine. How many people get it? Can we get to herd immunity? I think it said like 70, 80% of people need to be vaccinated. So we'll see when it comes to that. But that's what I'm hoping for. I want fans back in the game.
That would be great. I'd love to be able to go to a football or basketball game. It's
Yeah.
been a while.
Yeah, I mean but it's coming. I think it'll get here. But I think doing this whole thing, I think it makes you appreciate it more. The sporting events per se.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely went through a little shock last year when March Madness was about to start and it got canceled, and then all sports were canceled, and then they finally brought the NBA bubble back, so it was enough to hold me over.
Yeah, I mean the summertime, they had a lot of sports going on at one time, which you normally don't.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, usually in the summertime, once the NBA Finals and NHL, the Stanley Cup Finals is over, it's baseball and golf. That's it. Maybe some other like tennis and stuff like that. But you had the MLB going at one time, you had the NBA going at one time, you had the NHL, of course, golf and everything like that. But I'm really looking forward to it. I think baseball this year is going to be really interesting to watch. Not as the sport say, but for fan purposes. I think the MLB is going to have to lead the way when it comes to this, especially because they're going to be starting in April and ending in October. So you're going to get a good idea on are they going to start full capacity? I don't think they will. Slowly, gradually. And if the MLB by August is already having full people, because these leagues have got to start putting people in the stands because they're running out and they're going to eventually run out of money. Sponsorships, yes, they pay for a lot of that, but they're going to have to start getting a lot of that money back from the fan. That's how that's how you pay the salaries, So they can't hold out forever with these, and you see a lot of these states start to open back up. So I'm looking forward to it, though. But I'm with you on that. I think it's really good hearing the fans. So we'll see. Now, speaking of NCAA, I don't know if I'm pretty sure you heard the news this past week. NCAA football is coming back.
Yes.
So I was actually, when I heard that, I was so excited. I don't know about you. I don't know if we've ever played or anything like that. I know you played before, but I was set in my room as a kid from 10 years old all the way until I was, 25, 26, just doing dynasties. I loved it.
I actually this morning I was playing NCAA 14.
Man, I really wanted to buy it again. I have a 360 set right here just for that. But you know what? I want to pay $260 for an NCAA football game.
It was for my birthday is at the end of November.
Yeah.
So as like a joint birthday Christmas present, my girlfriend got me a PlayStation 3 and NCAA 14. So I've been playing it a lot lately, and I was so excited when I found out about whether it'll be 21, 22, who knows when they get it together, but it is coming back.
I'm just getting excited thinking about it. I'm like a kid on Christmas. That's the best news that I've heard in a long time when it comes to this. What do you want to see in the game? Like if you had to pick, 3 things or whatever you want, what would you put in the game? What would you make sure that it was really good?
Okay. Well, just based off of a few things from 2014 that aren't in the game that we have now is obviously the playoff.
Yeah.
Like they don't have that. There is a lot of teams that are in Division 1 now that you can't play with on 14, and that's just standard stuff that's going to be in the game.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of looking forward. What NCAA 14 came out in, what was it, 2013?
Yeah, it was July 2013 was now it came
So
out.
I'm excited to see like 8 years improvement on graphics and gameplay and just like little things inside the game that make it great.
Yeah. I my opinion on that, don't touch dynasty mode. Keep it. I mean, I want new stuff added, but don't
Yeah.
pull Madden. Don't pull what Madden has done the last 10 years. They'll take stuff out.
Yeah, I was actually just reading, they said a lot of the developers from NCAA 14 will be coming back to work on the new game.
That's good.
And they want to take as much information as possible from the NCAA football playing community to see what they think and improvements that they have found over the last 8-9 years on how to make the game better.
Man, it's been a long time.
It has.
July 2013. It's a long time.
Yeah, for sure.
Like they never even touched the previous console. They never touched the Xbox One or PS4 era.
No.
Never did. And that's crazy. But
yeah, the only thing bad about it is you're probably going to have to buy a new generation console if you want to play it.
I will buy it. If NCAA football came out, if they said, hey, it's coming out this summer, I would hunt down a new Xbox just to play that.
Yeah, I tried to pre-order it yesterday, and the dude at Gamestop told me it's too early. You can't do that yet.
Oh, for the new system or the football.
The NCAA football. I was in there looking for something, and I was just like, "Can you pre-order the game? Because I'm gonna buy it regardless." He's like, "They haven't even set a timetable for when it's gonna come out yet."
I mean, hey, doesn't hurt to ask. But man, I hope, and this is what a lot of people that I talk to in regards to this game that they're worried about, because EA Sports, it seems like just in the ever since NCAA football has come out, everything they've touched has turned to shit, essentially.
Yeah, it's if you want anything.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. With Madden, Battlefield, everything that EA has touched, not EA Sports in particular, but I'm hoping they just don't. You got to have conference alignments. You got to have a solid dynasty. Don't even touch dynasty. Coaching carousel, keep all that. And don't make it feel. Yeah, don't make it feel like a Madden game. Just substitute for NCAA football.
Yeah,
right?
And get the transfer portal in there. Yeah, that's become a big part of college football.
Yeah, and that's why I'm so glad that this is early in production. That they're not just they've been making it for the last 6 months, and they just now came out with it, so they can get feedback from other people. They can get feedback from the fans. It's playing this game for however long, and that's good. That's what really makes you feel good about it. And excuse me, that's what I'm really looking forward to. Now I'm thinking probably next year, is when this game will come out. At least be summer 2022.
Yeah, that makes sense. There's no way with just announcing it that they could come out with it for this football season or this upcoming football season.
No, so I'm going to try to still find that game because I'm not waiting a year and a half to play at least in football.
Yeah, so, I know 14 is really hard to find, and most people that have it want outrageous amounts of money. I think the one we ended up finding, it was only like 95.
Ooh, where'd you find that at?
Where was it? I think Facebook yard sale, actually.
Wow. Yeah, let's keep going.
But if you go to like vintage game shops and stuff, like there's one in Dunbar that has a bunch. You can find like 13, 12, 11, 10. So, I mean, it might not be the newest one, but a lot of people like 13 more than 14.
Really? I didn't mind 13. 13. I thought 13 was really good.
But one of the biggest changes that happened between 13 and 14 was the recruiting system.
Yeah.
It's the recruiting mechanics are completely different between the two games.
Now, I did know the one thing that a big changer from 12 to 13 was conference realignments. Because in 12 you could not touch the conferences whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I would like to see is, but it won't happen on the first game. It was NCAA 2005. That's my favorite NCAA football game of all time. One with Larry Fitzgerald on the cover for anyone that doesn't know. But that game had Division two. Well, it was one AA at the time, FCS. Now you had teams like Maine was on there. You know, small schools.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't see that happening now, at least the first couple years of the game. But that would be a cool feature to add. Except instead of having one AA East, one AA West, how they had it in 14 and 13 and everything like that.
Yeah.
Now I looked up on Amazon right now. It's like 14, $229.
Yeah. It's up. And then if I've seen people that had them like unopened, still had the plastic on it, like 500.
Oh, that's I don't think I could justify spending that much money.
Oh no, if I was those people, I would drop the price like 50%, get whatever money you can out of it now.
Yeah.
Because within the next year and a half, it's going to be a $10, $15 game. Who's
Yeah.
going to pay $200?
Oh, it's going to drop worse than that.
You
I
think
mean,
so?
if you think about it, go back to try to remember back when NCAA 14 just came out. Okay. Look at what the price did to 12 and 13. Less than $5, maybe less than 10. With
Yeah.
14, you may get some type of, it's NCAA 14. So it might have some hold value to it. But that price will plummet once that game is released. It's just going to plummet. You may be right. It may be 10, $15. No more than that.
Oh,
It's
no. Why would you pay? The only reason it has value now is because it was the last one made.
it's the only one. It's really, and people can go in but I will say this: what really drove that price up was if you go back to April, probably March of last year, the price you could get this for $100 probably, give or take. And then you keep on Barstool
Sorry.
Sports. Back over the summer, um, Big Cat did that NCAA football thing on Twitch.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that skyrocketed the price. After that, people were like, "Oh man, I want to play NCAA football. I want to play NCAA football," and then that's when the price went up.
Yeah,
So
actually I got a notification about that and it got me back into the game wanting to find it and play it.
yeah, I mean, let me see. You can get. There's got to be other copies in here. You can get somebody 13 for $77. It's not bad. What was your favorite one? If you had to pick.
I might have to just go with 14 for the fact that it's the one I played the most. Like, because I played it for years after it was the only one and then just kept with it when there was no more available.
Well,
But I mean, anyone where you can play with Steve Slayton and Pat White, those are good games.
That would have been, yeah, you could do that. 08, 07, and 06. Yeah, I think it was, yeah, NCAA 08, which would have been for the 2007 season. They're unstoppable. You got Owen Schmidt, so the read option couldn't stop it. You really couldn't. But yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to it. That's got me excited. I might even go and drop $230 right now. I don't know.
Well, I just looked on Facebook yard sale. The most expensive ones I'm seeing are about 150. They have multiples for $100, 120. So yeah, it's looking like the average price on here is around 100 right now.
Okay, I might actually look into that. At least they're local too. You don't have to get it earlier. So, hopefully they're in good shape though. That's what really it goes off of. But yeah, man, that's good stuff. I'm trying to think, what else would there have been? But no, when I will say this before we do get off here, I am planning on having a once the game does come out, I would like to do a big old tournament.
Oh, that'd be great.
That is ultimately the plan. Now, when that will be, whether it be next year or 2023, whichever. And I was planning on live streaming on the channel, or whichever, just getting people together. And that would be really fun. Take minutes and everything.
That does sound like a lot of fun. Plan it out, a year and a half in advance.
Yeah, I'll go and put it out today. Summer 2022 NCAA football tournament. I'm calling it. So, but yeah, man, I do appreciate talking with you again and everything. It's always a pleasure catching up with you and everything, and you're always welcome back on the podcast. So, I do appreciate it a lot.
All right, thanks, man. It was good to be on. Nice seeing you, having a little talk.
Yeah, man. We'll talk again and everything like that. And NCAA football, man. I'm like I said, I can't stop talking about it. So
I'm pretty excited too.
I'm juiced, man. But yeah, man, I do appreciate it, man. Have fun watching the game. Be safe, and I'll talk to you later, man.
All right, see you later.
All right, later.